You are listening to the Horse Radio Network, part of the Equine Network family.
Welcome to the Dressage Today podcast's Training Buzz. These short podcasts bring you the best tips straight from our subscription video site, Dressage Today On Demand. To get full access to all our videos, go to ondemand.dressagetoday.com and enter promo code DTPodcast to save 15% off your subscription. Now, listen in on this week's buzz and enjoy the ride. In today's buzz, we hear from biomechanics expert Stephany Fish Crossman. She starts by watching a young rider moving on her thoroughbred at a walk and trot in both directions, making some observations as to where the rider carries more weight. Then Stephany explains how repositioning the rider can help her be more effective.
So when we're looking at rider biomechanics, we're looking at the rider's body as a series of levers and pulleys. And each person, while we all have the same number of bones and muscles, each person's body comes together a little bit differently based on injuries, body habits, training, other occupations. Emma doesn't yet have an occupation, but she will. So those things all play into how we sit on our horse. So Emma's pretty balanced left to right. She is riding with a very long stirrup. You see that the bend in the back of her knee is not very great, which makes it hard for her to get out of the saddle and have a lot of influence on the horse's back. If we were to divide her body up as a front and a back, you can see that the majority of her weight, if we were to fill her up with particles of sand, Emma wants to carry most of her sand in the back of her body. Let's go across the diagonal, come back to me the other way. So while she is asking the horse to go this way, her body going this way kind of makes it hard for him to go over his back, to really have push from the hind legs that travels up over the spine, under the saddle to the hand. He's to the bit a little bit, but he could be more to the bit. And he looks like a really good egg. And you can see that he's a little bit on the forehand. So you can see how his withers are a little lower than his haunches. But when we see her straight on, again, there's a lot of really good things going on here. She's got quite good left-right balance. All right, Miss Emma, if you would, I'd like you to come here and we're going to do a reorganization of you. So if you think about your knees, your hips, and your ankles as being the suspension system of your body, those joints need to be able to bounce as we ride. That allows our torso to stay more engaged and more still. Just like we want the horse's legs to bend. The more that they sit, the more that they carry weight over their hind legs. Their joints have to flex more and they lift in the front end. So with the longer stirrup, it makes it hard to have that ability to flex, which is why jumper riders have shorter stirrups. So we're going to start out by shortening your reins, your stirrups. So we've shortened our stirrup. Let's put your whip on the other side. Perfect. Thank you. Okay. So now you can see that her leg wants to come a little bit over the front of the thigh block. If I were looking at the part of her leg that is being used, and you can imagine with your thigh that you have four sides to your thigh. You've got an outside, a front, a back, and an inside. It is harder to see her full seats in the back, and I can see a little bit of her full seats in the front looking at her this way. So I'm going to take her leg and rotate it. So what I've done is taken the femur, which is the longest, strongest bone in your body, and I have gotten the hamstring out of the way. I've laid the femur closer to the saddle. And you can see now that her leg is meeting her thigh block, which is the whole point of your thigh block. There is a better angle at the back of her knee. And now I can see the full seats here, okay? Let's take a little bit lighter foot. Yes. Okay. Now, keeping the lower leg a little more away from the horse. If I let go of this, can you hold that position? Yes. Okay. We love young people. They're so elastic. So we're going to do the same thing on the other leg. And one of the things I am noticing is that her right leg wants to come up a little bit more than her left leg. Her right leg was a little more over the knee. Everybody has a funny leg. Not funny, haha. Okay. Now, can you feel your seat bones?
No.
You cannot feel your seat bones. Can you feel your pubic bone in the front? Mm-hmm. Okay. So her line up here, she's fairly straight through her back, but she is not on her seat bones. So I want you to, without moving this, I want you to think about rotating your belly button towards your spine. Can you feel your seat bones now?
Yes.
Okay. So what we just did was we asked for her to have engagement in her stomach that helped fill out her lumbar area. Women have an extra curve in their spine that men do not have. So when women are told to sit up straight, we tend to do this. And from your pubic bone to the hole at the base of your throat gets longer than your tailbone to the knobble at the back of your neck. So this isn't really straight. And if we were to take this position and become a horse, we're a horse with our back down, right behind the saddle. So when we rotate the belly button up, then we get the lifted back. So this flat back comes from belly button back. There we go. Now, if your sternum had a flashlight in it, we want to think, where does your sternum aim? Okay? And we want it to aim kind of where we would like the back of his head to go, right towards the crown of the bridle. So we want to aim that just a little bit lower there. Okay. Now, we've now created this beautiful straight line that the front of her and the back of her matches. Emma, what does it feel like to you?
Very awkward.
Very awkward. Okay, do you feel straight?
Yes.
You feel straight. Awesome. Okay. Okay, so you don't feel like you're leaning forward.
No.
Okay. And ultimately, the job of the biomechanics is for us to, if I were to magically pull the horse out from underneath the rider's going to land on their feet at any given time. And right now, she's going to land on her feet.
We hope you enjoyed this bonus podcast. What would you like to learn about, and what tips would you like to hear? Email me, Stephany, at sruff@equinenetwork.com or reach out to us on social media. Remember, go to ondemand.dressagetoday.com and enter promo code DTPodcast to save 15% off your subscription to our online catalog. Thanks for listening.